I think one of the things about getting old these days is we lose our sense of childlike wonder and amazement. Now, while Nintendo certainly knows how to pull at the heartstrings, most noticeably with the recent Tears of the Kingdom advertising campaign, for me, Pokemon in recent years has lost its luster. Having never played the previous entry, I thought I would get my magnifying glass, don my Sherlock Holmes hat, and investigate to see if Detective Pikachu's Return could reignite some of this magic in this old Pokemon trainer.
Now that's more like it.
Detective Pikachu Returns continues on from the original 3DS game that follows Tim, a budding private investigator who is able to talk to his Pikachu, who is also a detective. Pikachu is a far cry from the cartoon series as he is a gruff, caffeine-addicted and somewhat cynical detective as you team up to solve mysteries in Ryme City.
The name's Pikachu, and I'm what you might call a great detective.
Along the way, you'll meet all manner of people and Pokemon who inhabit the city and perform mini side investigations, as well as enlist other Pokemon's abilities to assist with your case. In the interest of this review remaining as spoiler-free as possible, I will only include footage from the first case. The story is told by investigations that seemingly start small but unravel to reveal something much larger at play. Investigations are played out by talking to both human and Pokemon witnesses, which adds to more leads to chase down. Now, Pokemon statements can't be used as evidence, but they can be used to open up new avenues of investigation. While none of it's really brain surgery, it's fun to see how the investigations play out, and it's always rewarding to get new leads, allowing you to deduce new theories in your notepad. Deducing is a fun mechanic that allows you to examine the evidence you've gathered to formulate what happened. There's no punishment if you get it wrong, as Tim and Pikachu debate that the option you selected might not be the best way to approach things, and sometimes a little more investigation is required. To assist in these investigations, you can now ask for help from other Pokemon you encounter. These sections of the game leave Tim behind for a Pokemon investigative duo to take charge, like Pikachu riding on Growlithe, sniffing out the scent of a lead. These sections are usually fun and snappy and also have minor side investigations that focus on helping other Pokemon. Once you have all the information you need, you can close the investigation by revealing the suspects and selecting the correct sequence of events to finish out the case. These are often amusing and entertaining as suspects squirm and try to deflect blame as you lay out your theories. It's all quite enjoyable despite that lack of difficulty, and I found myself spurred on by the unraveling story, great voice acting, despite lip-syncing being off, most likely due to localization, and a general excitement of what happens next. Detective Pikachu Returns managed to engage my attention much more effectively than the most recent mainline entries, and I found myself smiling while playing. I do have to take a moment to address the Memeswine in the room, however, as graphics, while technically competent, seem to have a complete lack of lighting and shading, no matter what environment Tim and Pikachu are in. The fixed camera can sometimes lead to frustrating moments looking for doors or where to go next, which is surprising since in the cutscenes, the surrounding environment is fully rendered despite being out of view. I think the game may have benefited from being able to even slightly move the camera left or right, but by no means is this a deal breaker, because once you settle into the game, navigating the world becomes second nature. What I did love about the art styles and graphics is a sense of scale and the wonder of the Pokemon that live in Ryme City. From tiny bee-like Pokemon to intimidating fighting-type Pokemon that tower over Pikachu and Tim, the world of Ryme City feels vibrant and alive. There's an almost magic quality to it that we lost in that process of growing older, and this magic is sometimes jarringly interrupted when the voice acting simply stops to reduce your interaction to walls of text. All of this immersion, though, is backed by a big brass band soundtrack with some classic sleuth noir beats that never agitate or annoy. For my vision-impaired Pokemon detectives, the text is fairly large and has a dark, opaque background, which helps make the text pop out, and the actions in deducing are also accompanied by a large picture prompt and voiceover to help piece together the events of the case. All in all, Detective Pikachu Returns helps capture some of that wonder that we lost as we got older, showing us a different insight into a world filled with Pokemon. It's by no means perfect, but it's certainly a great game for Pokemon players who may be a bit jaded about the world of Pokemon in recent years, much like our Detective Pikachu friend.
Listen to some sage advice from a great detective like me.
So, what's it like? Detective Pikachu is a family-friendly LA noir crossed with Ace Attorney. I award it an 80 out of 100. Psst, do you have a minute? I just started a Patreon that shows behind the scenes of how video game reviews work, as well as giving members a say on what happens next on here. If you have time to check it out, visit the link in the description below. But don't fret, the best way you can support me without spending a cent is to continue reading my articles or watching my videos, because I'm very grateful to be able to make this content, and I'm more grateful that you're here for it. Thank you so much.
Hold on, got some dust on my hat. A great detective's gotta look good at all times.